The ginger beard of knowledge here, and we're going to take a look at one of the greats and his 5 most amazing moves of all time, Garry OG Kasparov. Make sure you like this video now, and we're going to move over to those amazing moments and moves now. This first example was played against Topalov, another brilliant player, and we have Garry with the white pieces. He used to love attacking and ripping his opponent's king apart, and in this position he does just that. Rook takes d4, and this obliterates the pawns around black's king. These pawns at the moment do defend the black king, but now white rips them apart, gets rid of that protection. What can black play? Well, if black swaps queens, white has won a safe pawn. So Topalov takes the rook. Garry is now 4 points down, but he has another blow that hits Topalov hard. Rook to e7 check. Who needs rooks anyway? Just throw them away. The black queen is controlling that square, but we're trying to use a bit of diversion to move that queen away. So for example, if black takes the rook, which he did not do, then queen takes d4 leads to checkmate, all because of the b6 square. King to b8 pretty much forced, queen to b6 check, and now the knight slides into this square, and eventually the queen delivers a kiss of death checkmate. Very nice sequence of checks there. After rook to e7, what can black do? Well, black now decides to march forwards. Other options also very bad. And now the king hunt starts. Queen takes d4 check, and in this position the king keeps on marching, winning a lot of material as it does, taking another knight on a5. But we bring that king further into our territory, b4 check. King to a4, and now a lovely quiet move. We don't always need to bring out the shotgun moves. We can also do the quiet and delicate moves. A bit like a symphony of chess magic. Queen to c3. And now with queen to b3, checkmate lingering over black's king, black is defenseless and went on to lose. A very beautiful game from Garry. Let's now move on to the second example. Now hopefully a number of you guys watching this will be able to spot the following idea. It's white to play, and the black king is rather precariously placed there. So how can we force our way through to deliver a devastating check against that king? Think violence. What would an original gangster do? Garry Kasparov. Rook takes c8. The point behind this move, we're getting rid of the knight that could have defended on e7. Black actually resigned here because he saw queen takes c8 would be met by this lovely delicate swinging move, queen to a3 check, and this of course will win the game. So very nice and simpler tactic there. Did you spot it? Well, let's see if you can get the next one. Well, chess is all not crash bang wallop checkmate. As much as we'd enjoy it to be that way, we often have to combine a bit of crashing with a bit of positional play, and this is what Garry does in the following position. He's playing Shirov, and Garry has established a big knight in the center of the board. This is what we call an outpost. But black is getting ready to eliminate that knight with chances of equality. Garry now plays a beautiful concept. Rook takes b7. Now the rook is worth 5 points, the bishop 3, so he's clearly sacrificing 2 points. And for what reason? Well, after b4, we can see his positional idea. Number one, his knight remains on this square. There's nothing black can do to ever get rid of this fantastic piece. It can't be attacked by a pawn. It can't be eliminated by a bishop. And with the move b4, white is also really restricting the possibilities of the knight on b7. That knight can't get back into the game. So this is a long-term positional idea that was so effective, but a very, very nice concept. How many people would give up points in such a way which doesn't have an immediate goal, but a longer effect? On to example number 4. Another customer of Garry's was Nigel Short. Nigel Short paid out Garry on many occasions, and this is no exception. In this position, Garry with the white pieces, and this next move again has some beautiful subtlety behind it, which ends in a dynamic attack. Can you see the move here? that will open up the black king. The black king looks quite safe, but Garry was an expert of opening up those cans, the cans of beans. Get the little opener out. Give it a little open. Let's get to the king. Oh yeah, checkmate. There we go. What did white now play? Bishop to h6, and this is an amazing idea because you're sacrificing on an empty square. Philosophical in nature even. This has to be taken, and what is the idea? Well, now we bring in the big guns. Queen to d2. The queen is sliding into h6 with queen to g7 as the major follow-up, and even though Garry sacrificed a piece here, there's no good way that black can defend. Pawn to f5 is a defensive try that Nigel gave a go, but it didn't work after pawn takes pawn, en passant, capture in passing. And now the bishop has to move and queen takes h6. Nigel tries rook to a7 to get some defensive ideas along the 7th rank, but now another white piece dives in, knight to g5, and with ideas of f7 coming up, black is helpless and he goes on to lose in quick time. So I really like that subtle start to a deadly attack. Another beautiful example. Garry's playing, who is he? It's the big OG, is playing against India's finest ever player, Anand. With the white pieces here, he's sacrificed a rook, but the next move has a theme we've already seen. Now, to try and help you find Garry's move, let's just think what white could be trying to play here. Well, he could try queen to h5 to try to come into the f7 square, but black always has g6, blocking the check. So Garry found a way around this. The little sliding move into the oblivion, bishop to h6. This move is quite astonishing as we're throwing the bishop into the same square as we just saw. In this case, we're trying to eliminate the pawn on g7. For example, if black now takes the bishop, we don't even need to take the queen. There's a better idea. Can you see the idea? Queen to h5 check, followed up with queen to f7 checkmate. And in the game, black tried queen to c3, but now white is able to eliminate the g7 pawn. Bishop takes g7 with a major threat of queen to h5. Vishy tried queen to d3 in order to block that check, but after bishop takes h8, that bishop has rampaged enough, and now Garry goes on to win as the black king is just too exposed in the middle of the board. I'll be back with more beautiful moves very soon. Have a little look at these videos.